Until the end of the 1960s, science fiction was exciting, filled with the imagination of future worlds. And science was science. Not many people really knew or cared that almost all science fiction was either impossible or far, far away in the future.
Earth. It's being left far behind.
In 1969, science killed traditional science fiction with its futuristic technological marvels, when, as Jean Baudrillard put it, we watched 3 people go to the moon and back in a flying 2-bedroom apartment with bathroom and toilet. Immediately, the fantastic had become the mundane, and public interest in the Apollo missions rapidly evaporated, along with the funding. Science had become what J.G. Ballard described as the future now. The convergence of science with science fiction has created a near-future mythology of the present day, a lens through which to examine science, to discover our hopes and fears of technology.
I am the greatest botanist on this planet.
And provide thought experiments about what the future could be, and even what it should be.
This is hydroponic farming.
In the other corner, the world chess-playing computer.
Deep Blue beat Garry Kasparov.
Computers are beating us at chess, Go, and even poker.
Professor Sandholm did not teach Lebradas how to play very good poker. He taught the rules of poker, and then the program found the optimal strategy.
And if a computer can beat us in poker, what are our chances against Skynet? The symptoms of fantastical futures are all around us today, but we find ourselves living now in what were the dystopian science fiction worlds of the past.
When I am certain we would all rather be doing something else.
Spaceships exist, but so do clones, bioweapons, and killer robots. Political manipulation and cyber surveillance have made Orwell's nightmare world into a rosy-tinted imaginary past. It seems like we have forgotten what we owe to technology and science. Our entire history and culture is defined by technology. But now, we take technology for granted, and all we see ahead of us is a disturbing, depressing, and boring future. A future in which we are not sure that we have a place at all.
Why don't you just leave?
When they dreamed of Europe, it surely looked nothing like this.
What effect will our actions now have on our children, on our families, on the other people who share our planet? And will our planet survive us?
If any fiction can offer us answers, can move us to action, it may well be speculative fiction.
The reflected sunlight from the 2,650 heliostats.
Our cultural interest, hopes and fears are bound up in our use of technology, and we see this reflected in science fiction.
Science fiction is an entry into history, psychology, philosophy, religion, politics, economics, sociology, critical thinking, and of course, science.
I think we should be very careful about artificial intelligence. If I were to guess at what our biggest existential threat is, it's probably that.
Humans, who are limited by slow biological evolution, couldn't compete and would be superseded.
This conversation can serve no purpose anymore. Goodbye.
We are summoning the demon.
I am not afraid.
Science fiction has gone from being a fringe interest in the early part of the 20th century to permeating our entire culture today, a perfect lens through which to inspect our cultural attitudes, values, and worldview.
Truth, reality about our world today is that it's changing very rapidly, primarily because of technology, technological change, and it seems to me that this is the first fact of reality, and accepting this change makes science fiction realistic in a way that mainstream fiction is not.
Academic research, science education, and advocacy now use science fiction as a tool to engage with and debate with the public. And fiction and film are based on the technology and implications of this future now. Analogies of the impacts of our cultural decisions and views are everywhere in science fiction.
By sending the hero to a different planet, we can convey some sense of the wonder of this universe, of life itself. Or by projecting a future society, we can examine possible ways in which men could order their affairs. But in science fiction, as in every other kind of story, it is real here and now experience on which we draw.
What they show in The Martian, we could find places on Mars that look that way.
The astronaut uses the lander as a way to communicate back with Earth. An astronaut really could have done that and reprogrammed this vehicle.
The first person to touch the surface of Mars, I think, is going to be in my lifetime. I think we can easily do it in 20 years. If we want to, we could do it in less.
Science fiction is not predictions about the future, so much as a sort of mail-order catalog of possible alternate futures. A shopping list of the sorts of futures we would like to see.
Everything we experience now is the science fiction of the present day, a continuous commentary on our hopes and fears about what the future could be. And not just any future, the human future, the future now.